Welcome to Not in a Huff with Jackson Huff, where we interview newsmakers, storytellers, and all-around interesting people. Sit back, relax, unless you're driving, and enjoy the show. Here's Jackson.
Hello. I am Jackson Huff. This is Not in a Huff. Thanks so much for joining me. Appreciate it as always. This week, really cool opportunity, a really cool guest. I am interviewing Mishka Sibert. Now, Mishka, she is actually from Europe. We'll get to that. Kind of a little known country. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the beginning, but that's not what this podcast is about. The interview actually deals with her business, the business she started with her brother. Now, the spin on that is her brother is actually autistic. He's nonverbal. But they found, through their deep connection and him taking a few art classes, that he's actually an extremely talented painter. And the business is called Happy Autism. It kind of brings, I guess, awareness to autism and the cool things that are associated with that. And it also sells some of his paintings. So we're going to talk a little bit about her. We're going to talk a little bit about her country. We're going to talk about autism, about her brother, the amazing art that he does. It was just a really cool conversation. She's doing some really amazing things. Just being as committed and as devoted to to helping her brother, who does have some extra challenges, I guess, in life. He's just lucky that he has her and the rest of his family. He seems to be living his best life for sure, doing some really cool things. Two things that I want to mention, in this podcast, two disclaimers. One, a little less serious, and that is, I recorded this a couple months ago. And I was not always as good back then as staying close to the microphone. So the audio sometimes is a little bit weird. You probably won't notice it. It's just on me. So don't hate me if the audio is not as good as you remember. Not to say it's really going to be all that bad, but minor disclaimer. Other one, which is a little bit more serious, is this conversation that I had, and any conversation to be had on any, disability is one. It's a singular instance. We're talking about her brother and his nonverbal form of autism. And that doesn't mean that every nonverbal autistic is the same. Doesn't mean that, autism comes in many different flavors, if you will, many different challenges, many different opportunities. So I don't want this to be a blanket statement on autism, because it certainly isn't. All it is just to look at the amazing things that Mishka's brother is doing. So just know that anything said, it's just a talk on autism in her experience, living and thriving with her brother. Cool conversation. Without further ado, here is my interview with Mishka Sibert. I am here today with Mishka Sibert. Mishka, how are you?
I'm very good. So excited. Thank you, Jackson. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I'm very excited about this because I love your podcast. It's so cool, and you have many cool people here. So I'm happy to be part of this.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so let's just kind of jump right into it. I know we're going to talk a little bit about impact, finding your impact. We're going to talk a little bit about your Happy Autism area that you founded, but let's just kind of hear a little bit about Mishka first. Outside of those areas, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I like that you said outside of these areas, because this is dangerous zone when you're doing so many things. Sometimes you can fall into the label of being just one thing, and I'm a multi-passionate person. I just do so many things. So people never know what I do actually. They're like, so what are you doing? It's just, you cannot show everything. And I'm a solopreneur. So I ran my business, actually, a solopreneur, but I do my business by my brother. which is very unique thing and a concept. It's because my autistic brother, he's nonverbal, he's 18 years old, and he's a creative director of our business, of our brand. And that is very, very, very unique. And it's a wonderful journey that we've been on. So yes, I'm a founder of Happy Autism, but also it's more of like the concept showcasing the world what amazing people, what amazing people with autism can achieve and how incredible stuff they can achieve, but also showcasing the world that this is possible. That you can do things differently when you have open mind. So I love it. Yeah, not putting myself in a box. If I had to do like describe what I do, we would be here for hours. So we don't want that.
Yeah. Well, obviously, just listening, the podcast is all about, I guess, voice, and we can tell that you're probably not from, Illinois. So where exactly are you from?
I'm from Slovakia, tiny little country, where it's full of passionate people, and I love this country, and I love people in here and the brilliant brains, and I'm always saying one thing, like people don't know, like where the hell is Slovakia? And it's like in the central of Europe. It's apparently like the actual geometric center. So it's like the heart of Europe. It's tiny. But what I always brag about is that I'm from the eastern part of Slovakia, which is very creative and is full of artists. And Andy Warhol's parents come from here. So from a tiny village, and they are immigrants in America when they moved to Pittsburgh and so on. So I always say that it's like Andy is my favorite person because I feel a relation to him and also love America. So yeah, so from this tiny, tiny country, but I'm a global citizen because I love the world. I love people around the world, and I just love traveling. I know you love traveling, right? So this is something I completely get. It's like when you travel the world, I feel home when I travel the world, right? I don't feel home in one place. So maybe you can relate to that as well.
No, for sure. And I'll tell you with Slovakia, I think the problem, at least U.S. people have when trying to remember the European countries is, they go through and then they say, Slovenia, and then you say, oh, and Slovakia. And they're like, I already said that. No, there's a Slovenia and there's a Slovakia.
Yes.
So you got two countries that are very similar named. I don't know how similar they actually are in culture, but they're very similar named. Good. Well, that's good that they're at least similar there, that people aren't offended. Like, did you say you're from Slovenia? No, Slovakia. And we don't like Slovenia or something like that.
It's fascinating. Yes, I got this a lot because I studied in London, and I hated this in the first place because I actually told everyone that my name is Michelle because I didn't know that Michaela, it's like you read it as Michaela. In our language, you say Michaela, right? So, and Mishka is a shorter version of Michaela. And I had this nickname, Michelle, because I studied French as well. So I was like, oh, je m'appelle Michelle, So I introduced myself as Michelle. And when people ask me, so where you from? I said, from Narnia. Because I was like, nobody knows where my country is from. So we're from Narnia. And so I literally said that. And I got a lot. It's like people thought that I'm Russian or they thought I'm Polish. Oh, that I am from Czechoslovakia because Czech Republic and Slovakia were like a married couple, like a country together, and they had a divorce like twice. And in '93, they divorced peacefully, and we were like brother sisters. And I love Czech Republic, but we're different countries. So, and we have a little different languages as well. So it's similar, but it's not the same. And people used to say they're from Slovenia. They also thought that, and I was like, in a room full of British people, the only foreigner, and I felt like, okay, never mind. So I'm used to this. It's been 7 years, so whatever.
Yeah, well, we'll get it right. We'll get it right. So just I guess one more question about that. You're going to get me off on countries, which is not what we're here to talk about. But so you said that you're kind of married with the Czech Republic. So I would assume that means that you really have nothing to do with Russia. You're not in Cyrillic and things like that, right?
No. But you mean like with Russia?
Correct.
Yes.
You're not a former member of Russia, right? Or the USSR?
We were.
Oh, you were. Okay.
Yes. You got it right. Yes, we were in that after this, under this huge Russian influence. Slovakia was always like the smallest out of the oldest country. Like Poland is bigger and Czech Republic is bigger than Slovakia. Slovakia has just 5.5 million people, and so living here. So it's small country. That's why people here we sometimes it's like we are very very ambitious because there's always some other country like having control over us. Either like Czech Republic, they were the ones that were like taking control and leading us. Before it was Russia, so it's always some country. So yes, you're right. We had this Russian influence, and my mom actually in back in like 80s it was you had to study Russian. You had no other option just to study Russian, and there was communism as well here before. So there is this influence, but now it's more freeing. We're a more democratic country, but I don't really believe that it's that good democratic, to be honest. But let's not go into politics. That's like the realm that I don't go into. But just to clarify this, yes, you're right.
I got you. Well, very good. Well, let's actually talk about what you're here to talk about. I guess the first thing that kind of struck me when I was reading a little bit about you is your whole self love mindset. I mean, so are you saying that we should, I guess, have more of a self love mindset and make sure that we put ourselves not necessarily first, but always aware of our needs? Or are you saying that having, I guess, the mindset of caring for others was more beneficial?
That's a very good question because, we are naturally like, okay, so if I see someone that, oh, put your needs first, put yourself first, then it's not saying that don't care about other people and be selfish bastard. It's like, that's not what I'm saying. It's the point of knowing that if, you always hear that, like when your cup is full, that's when you can actually give to others. And it's true. It's again true, but like people many times don't understand like what does it mean like filling my cup? Like how does this look like? Well, it means like knowing what uh that first of all, this is a mindset about if you want to give your highest self, the best self to the world, you need to have something to give. That means that you have to have the energy. You need to have health, healthy body, healthy mindset, being emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, so you can give the best self to the world and actually bring your best version of yourself to this world and make some impact and help people and be there for your family and everyone. That is the point of that. It's just saying knowing having the boundaries, saying no, saying yes to yourself more when you need it, listening to yourself, listen to your body and connecting. Okay, if I'm feeling emotional, is there some negative emotion, I'm feeling anxious, well, I'm gonna go and give myself those 5 minutes or 10 minutes on how much I need to process that and look how can I help myself, and also asking for help is one of those things. And I struggled with that so badly. And I know many people struggle with that because they don't want to be like burden. And that is exactly that. Like you don't want to be a burden and you don't want to bring more worries to other people. It's not like putting yourselves like, oh, save me, I'm a victim. No, it's more saying like, I need to be supported right now. And people love to do that. Like people want to help you. People are like so excited. But if we're not allowing them, it's then you don't get help. So it's about mutual support. We all deserve that support, and so yeah.
No, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. So we've talked a little bit about, growing up and helping take care of your brother. And we've kind of talked a little bit about your brother, but tell us just a little bit more about him and the organization that you've created.
Yes. So this kind of the background of what I created before I move into like what it is and what's the vision for this. I just want to say that this is all interconnected to my childhood, and I always say that in your trauma there is a purpose. Like that is what I'm just like I've recognized and like okay, so in that painful memories, in that pain I felt each time. Like imagine I was just we're walking. My brother's like 10 or 11 or 5, doesn't matter. He's young and he's behaving in a certain way, right? That it's not normal for people and it's weird maybe and it's not known. And so we not only get these looks, people like we were walking down the street and there's this like children laughing and calling him bad words, then the parents are like looking at us with really like, oh, like, scared about their own children, what he's gonna do to them, and then there are other people like being cruel and saying, oh, your child needs to behave, like he doesn't know how to behave, like he's behaving badly, what kind of parents you are, and all of that, because he used to cry a lot. He used to scream. He had his meltdowns. We didn't know what they were, why he's doing that. And he was because there was sensory overload. That means that his brain could not process so many things like sounds, voices, details, light, and all of that. He didn't know how to process that, and he had a hard time with changing places and materials and all of that. So there were so many things coming up for him, and we didn't know how to support him. And there was not much support out there, and also people were quite cruel. So I had anxiety each time we went out, because I was like, you like live in this fight or flight mode. This is it, like you're always in a fight or flight mode, because he didn't know what dangers there are out there. So if the car was crossing, like I had to really hold him tight so he wouldn't run underneath the car and like die and so on. So it was constant fight or flight mode. So my mom's biggest so I was like, okay, I was so angry. I was like, why these people are hurting him and why they're so cruel? And I was growing up, I was always had this thought. There were two thoughts I constantly had: the society reaction and my mom's worries about his future. My mom was constantly, who's going to take care of him? My mom is constantly, and that is something that all parents that have children with disabilities are thinking: what's the future of the children? What's going to happen to them if I pass away? If I'm not going to be able to hear? If I get ill, who's going to take care of them? Those are the biggest worries, and I kept hearing this over and over again. So I was like, I love problem solving, and I knew that I needed to do something. I just really wanted to help and create something. So I just once, when I was like 17 or something, I was a teenager, and I started like thinking, okay, what if I started changing my mindset? And as I was growing up, I started changing mindset from being angry to being passionate, using the fire within me. And I realized, okay, people don't know. Okay, so people don't know what this is. That's why they react this way. What if I brought awareness? I need to educate people. So instead of like reacting through anger, I started explaining. I was like, this is my brother. This is how he be. And they started changing their reactions. They were like, oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Like, hi. And they tried to communicate with him and so on. It was very beautiful. So that's when I realized, okay, there is a change. We need to make this happen. We need to talk about this more. And that's the why behind, okay, I want my brother to have a brighter future, and I want other people with autism have happier future. That's why it's called Happy Autism. And I want people to be happy, not full of worries, because worries really affect you negatively if to be in constant worry. And I want this world to know how amazing these people are, because my brother is the coolest person I know, and he's awesome, and I just adore him. And I wanted to show him to the world, but also I was scared that they're gonna be cruel. So that's why I said it's trauma to purpose, because traumatic was for me to experience that pain, and I wanted to protect him. And overcoming that and changing it into the power hero mode, from the victim to hero, I realized, okay, now we can show him to the world. We can actually give him a platform to be advocating for himself and actually show the world and educate them that this is autism. This is the reality. Welcome. Not what Hollywood tells you, but what this is reality. Because you could see autism in Hollywood just in a few films, but they were not portraying the truth completely, and it wasn't in media enough. So I was like, let's bring it to the world.
I know you can. I mean, online you can find plenty of things that parents and siblings with autism, the challenges that they face. But so we're not even going to talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about the joys of having, a sibling and a family member with autism. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, that is what was I felt like a mission. We wanted to bring more joy. So when we launched in March last year, when the pandemic started, we were like, let's bring joy to people. Let's show them the bright side also. And I want to show them like how amazing my brother is and how much I love him and the power of this love that we have siblings. So the joys of autism are so many. Like, you know, he he doesn't have judgment over people. Like he's like he when he sees you as as you. Like he doesn't put you in a box because and how what I mean by that, I always felt free to be myself around him. I felt like he knows me the most, and because I was like hiding some parts of me to the world, but he kind of like I felt like he doesn't judge me. He's not gonna be mean to me, and he doesn't gonna bully me or whatever, right? So it was so much freedom, and he taught me how to be more empathic, how to listen, because he's nonverbal. So you're like, okay, how do you communicate with someone that's nonverbal? Well, most of the like communication, most of it is nonverbal. Like we use words, but we use body language, we use gestures, we use our face to express emotions. We have energy, that's the kind of aura, all of that. There's so many ways. So I learned how to tap into those realms of communication, and my empathy increased because I wanted to connect with him and understand what he's feeling. So that really helped me to navigate that and connect with people on a deeper level and listen, pay attention, and accept myself more for who I am because he's so natural, it's so authentic. He doesn't have those boundaries around how he shows up. And I love that. I wanted to be so free in my own self expression like he was. So I just think he's the coolest. Like he will go to the shopping mall and he loves shopping, by the way. And yeah, he's a handsome boy. And so when he hears music, he will start moving. And I call it dancing. In autism, it's also called stimming. It's like stimulating his brain and needs to move. So, but he's dancing is because he's happy dance. And I started dancing with him because people are looking at us, right? Like, why is this guy moving? It's like weird. So I started doing the same. And I realized, wow, I don't care what they think. That's amazing. Like it's because always like I care of what other people think, right? So he didn't. So I started doing it with him, not just to support him, but learning from him so many ways, how to be myself, my true self. Um, so I believe that he is a wonderful teacher, and people with autism are so wonderful because you cannot put them in a box. And he kind of sparked this outside of box thinking within me. I had to look beyond of the known. That is really, really awesome because you start exploring the unknown, and there is a magic in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked a little bit about self-expression and his self-expression. So tell us just a little bit about his paintings, and then also how in the world Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick got involved in all that.
Yes, when he was 12, he started going. Actually, when I went to London to study, he went to a new school. So we both started like a new journey in our life. And he started going to art therapy classes, right? And he came home and he brought these awesome paintings, and we were like, "What is happening?" We did not expect this because you don't know. Like I didn't know what my brother can issue, but I knew that it's gonna be something cool. I knew that. I believe that he's got some gift because we're all artistically kind of gifted in our family. So I was like, I wonder what is his gift, right? And he brought these paintings, and I was like, okay, well, this is no way my brother painted this. Wow. So we were really blown away. And then he started going there. It started really helping him to pay attention. It helped him with his concentration and also self-expression because back then he would not be able to sit at one place for more than like 2 minutes. He was very hyperactive, but also like he could not concentrate. So this really helped him to calm down, to focus, to concentrate, to express himself, and put this energy into the artistic expression. So when I saw this painting, that was like the third one that we have on our t-shirts in a collection. And when the back then I got it, I'll tell you how, but that was one of the first ones, one of the top three ones. And that really was the one saying, okay, my brother can actually wonderful things, that he's got future, a very bright future, very colorful future, right? So I saw this and I was like, if you show this to the world, like no way I can just see this. I want people to see, like, this is amazing. So I got this idea in 2016 to make his art visible. And how can we make his art visible? How can we make autism visible? Because autism is visible disability. Okay, so I decided to make this into t-shirt, and I just tested it. What is it gonna look like? And I showed him the different, like, very simple, like, designs, and I showed it to him. And I asked him which one is his most favorite, and he pointed at the one that I call Blue Planet. And so I got this idea. I was like, okay, I'm gonna test this t-shirt. I literally ran to the shop. I bought t-shirt and I went to Reprographic Center and I got it printed. And I went to meet one of my friends, and in Bratislava, who are big influencers, YouTubers, and I was like, yo guys, like, I have this idea. Like, what do you think? And I'm wearing this t-shirt, and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm gonna give you contact of the guy that does merch for us, so you can, like, work with him. And I was like, cool, awesome. So I started working with this guy and created a collection. And we had no, like, money behind us, like no fund, nothing. And then I went back to London because I was living this crazy life there. So I went back to London, like, yeah, burning out and all of that, right? And I suddenly got a call from one of my friends who's a press journalist. His name is Boris. And he's like, Mishka is like, we used to go for a lunch sometimes when he was busy. He was an extremely busy person, flying around the world, interviewing celebrities, crazy life. And he's like, Mishka, I need, like, I'm going to red carpet for Beatles premiere. They had a documentary out. And he's like, and I have a ticket. Like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm in the Central right now because I just started a new job. I was like, okay, I'll meet you at 5. Come, dress up, let's go. I was like, okay. So, like, did not expect it at all. He used to surprise me all the time. So we went. Before we went to the red carpet, which was actually blue because that was the color of the Beatles and so on. I mean, at the film, we are sitting at Pret a Manger, which is a favorite, like, kind of baguette place, dressed up, right, for carpet. And I'm like, we had, like, short conversation because he's always busy. Like, this guy, like, would not reply to messages easily because he was all over the place. So I was like, listen, Boris. He's like, what are you doing? I was just in Bratislava, like, talking to my friends, and I had this idea. My brother is autistic and he's so cool, and I want to show the world what amazing things people can do with autism. So I made a t-shirt, like, collection from his art. And I was like, okay. He didn't say anything else. Like, he was just like, cool, well, let's move on. And we got important things to do. So I was like, so we went on to the red carpet. Madonna suddenly appeared. She was like 1 meter from me. I was like, what on earth is Madonna doing here? Nobody expected this. Yoko Ono, Paul McCartney. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here, honestly. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Like, I am not BBC or something. Like, it's just like, it was really weird to be in the one room in theater with like people like this. But I realized that it was so incredible to see how Paul McCartney was extremely humble and wonderful person, and it really inspired me in this documentary to see it's like, he was talking about, like, how you can make change in this world through your art, through story, and he was really showcasing that in that documentary, how Beatles were like fighting for good causes. And this is what I am. I am so passionate about this as well. So it was very inspiring for me on that level. And before we even launched the collection, I got a call and a message, not call, from Boris saying, hey, I need 3 t-shirts. And I'm like, we haven't released the collection yet. We're actually about to release it. It's getting prepared. Like, we don't have any printed. And he's like, oh yeah, like, but I need them, like, in 4 days. And I'm like, who do you need them for? Can I ask humbly? it's like, yeah, for Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick and myself. Because interviewing him, he's playing an accountant that has autism in his upcoming movie, The Accountant. And Boris is very well known for gifting things to actors. So he always comes up with different kind of gifts. And he's like, this is the best gift. I want to give it to him. So send it to me. Here's the address. I expect it within 4 days. And I'm like, okay, like, this is the conversation. This is how we deal with the things. He never talks about it much. He just says, let's go. So this is how it had happened. And I didn't even know whether it was on air, whether it was on TV or not. So he didn't even tell me how it went. So I was like, hey, how did it go? Did you give it to him or not? I was literally like, I don't know what's happening. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be on TV. It's gonna be on two shows that I'm working on. So it's gonna be on this show at this time and this show and this time. And I watched the video and I saw it was all over my media and I cried. So I'm like sitting in the office working with my colleagues at the university and I'm like watching this and I'm crying. And and the colleague who's like 70 years old, he's like, why are you crying? And I was like, I'm nothing. I'm just got emotional. Just saw something, It's okay. Nothing's happening. So I didn't pay attention to it at all, but it was huge for me because I wanted to advocate for autism. I wanted to show the world, and I wanted to raise awareness. And that happened because Ben Affleck talked about autism, and they were also showcasing what amazing things people with autism can do. He was literally showing it to the camera and loving it. It's like, oh my God, so cool expressing himself for art. That's amazing. I love it. Thank you. So I was like, this is the whole point, right? That's how it happened.
No, that's awesome. It kind of just drives that point home, and it kind of literally on TV just kind of shows your vision actually becoming a reality. So that's a really cool thing for sure. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about. I want to make sure that we save some time for it. You wanted to talk a little bit more about impact, how our stories make an impact. So if you would just kind of dive into that.
Yes, definitely. You know, working in media, the reason why I went into media was to use media for a higher good, because media can be very like disturbing, manipulating, and media have great power in this world. But knowing how the inner works of it, I wanted to discover that to make impact and bring positive change in this world and bring stories that touch people's hearts and actually move them and bring some inspiration and empower them in a way that they can too achieve those things. So since I've had this experience working and having those experiences like working with big brands and artists and having this insane experiences like with celebrities as well, I realized, okay, well, each one of us is an influencer. You don't have to be celebrity to create content, right? You don't have to be celebrity to make things like that happen. You don't have to be have agents behind you working and huge team and lots of money to make impact and have your story reach millions of people, because it's the power of storytelling. It's the power of the passion and knowing and how to deliver that story. So I believe that each one of us and each one of your listeners have like wonderful, impactful story. Each story matters, and we all go through some breakthroughs from hardships, and we can make the change happen. So I decided to since I do coaching and life coaching, I decided to create like this program, and I was like, okay, how can I make this happen? Help people do that. So I was actually talking about the summit about it, and I call it like the fast track to impact, and how to make change with your story, how to create that, how to draft it, and how to like work with those mindsets that are stopping you from speaking up. Because as I said, the trauma to purpose, like if I was scared to speak up because of those things, but then I had to use the power of that trauma and I mean of that experience and turning it into power, not pain, and make it into my purpose. So I created this, I wrote recently, this storybook. It's like the workbook, guidebook. It's the free gift that if anyone is listening, for my listeners would be interested to how to like craft it, that story. There are 4 ingredients. That is like what, why, your audience, and your delivery. Because you need to have all these things in a place in order to showcase to the world that it actually moves people. Is there energy, the power, and allow yourself to do so. Don't be scared of being heard and seen. And because it's not always about us, it's about those people that are listening. And I believe that each one of us can contribute to this world. It doesn't have to be just some famous rich people. Like we are important. Each one of us are important and worthy and are so powerful.
Yeah, no, I would almost say, those a lot of the celebrities obviously know a lot about them, but the people who are truly, truly contributing to the world and doing the great things are the people we're never, ever going to hear about. So completely agree with you there. And then also just, doing this podcast, there's so many times that, I want to talk to somebody for a certain point, and then I hear more of their story, and that's way more interesting than the thing that I even thought I was going to be talking to them about. So definitely agree. Everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has an impact in the world, even if people don't feel like they do. So I like that mission a lot. That's really cool.
Yes, and also, my mom is a teacher.
Mhm.
So, and I come from a teaching family where there are many people that are teachers and educators. And I grew up around one of the people making a change happen, but nobody knew about this. Right? My mom, she changed people's lives, and now she got actually article out. Someone interviewed her, and I was like, finally, people see how amazing you are. Like, I want you, and I want people that are making this impact. You don't have to be a business owner. Like, you are making impact, and you're sharing the value. I want it to be seen and heard, and to reach the world. So this is what it's about, like getting it out there, right? Because you deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got a lot of different things going. You said that you're a person of many interests. So just tell us, kind of to wrap things up, what does the future hold when it comes to Happy Autism, when it comes to your self coaching, when it comes to just life in general? What's the future hold for Mishka?
Yes. Hello, the future is like already, have already planned, and I'm already planned out kind of the things that I'm focusing on when my energy really, like really, all of this energy that I can focus on. So it's autism advocacy in a way that bringing people with autism and creatives into employment, workplace, and businesses. So I want to showcase, and was actually invited like 2 days ago to the workshop at one HR company. And I'm gonna share more, but it's like a big company in America. And they messaged me saying like, yo, we saw you at Summit and we would love you to deliver a workshop on how to work with people that are nonverbal, that are disabilities, that are autism, because Autism Month is coming up, which is in April. So I definitely want to contribute to show people and businesses, yes, these people are employable. These people have a lot of gifts for the society and contribution, not just those that I spoke about that are bringing us into our more human self, but actually wonderful gifts that can shape this world and help this world. Because the autism is growing so fast in terms of like how many people they get diagnosed. So the future is changing, and future needs to be supported, needs to be educated. So that's my big passion. And so it's not just about my brother and me, but it's about the future of people with autism and disabilities, special needs, and then also supporting special needs siblings and their mental health. Since I struggle myself, I connected with so many siblings, and I'm working with organizations, special needs siblings that is American, to contribute more into their mental health. And also I'm doing my coaching, helping impact-driven leaders to really turn their trauma into purpose and make impact with the story and reach millions of people so they can do what they came here to do and really make that impact happen and change people's lives.
Absolutely. So if people hear this, like what they're hearing, want to see some of this art, want to see just a little bit more about you and what you're doing, how can they find all this?
Yes, they can go to happyautism.co, or not com, but co, or they can find us on Instagram at Happy Autism and at Mishka Sibert.
Very good. Well, I'll tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. I can already tell. I mean, just with the passion that you have, this is not the last we'll hear from you. You're going to be doing some really great things. So it was just a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much, Jackson. Sorry. I really appreciate that. See, I couldn't even say your name. I was like humbled by your lovely words. And thank you for this opportunity. It was so lovely speaking with you, and sending all the best of luck to every single listener that hears this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that was Mishka Sibert. What a cool person. I'm sure that you could tell that she's going places for sure. Between just the passion she has on autism awareness, the passion she has in self-help and self-love, and the work that she's doing, I guess, as a life coach, just a cool person. Like I said in the beginning, her brother is extremely lucky to have her, and based off of just hearing her, I think it's evident that she's really lucky to have him, because he's got some
amazing talents, just doing some really cool things. So just a really awesome siblings. I really enjoyed speaking with her. I urge you to go check out happyautism.co. Remember, .co, not .com. Go check out everything she's doing. And one thing she is doing that we didn't mention, because it actually happened, I guess the whole rollout after our interview, and that is she has created her own podcast too. So you're so awesome in supporting this one. Please go support her as well. She sent me a little blurb of exactly what this podcast is about. Just to kind of summarize it, it's to basically help people learn more about autism. It's autism awareness, which she's been doing just such awesome things with already. But it's from both her brother, who is autistic, and then from herself, who is what she calls, and what I've heard before, is neurotypical. So it's kind of just a deep dive into that. They're going to talk about navigating life as someone potentially with autism, navigating life as someone who supports, helps, and lives with someone who with autism. And then they're also going to talk to people in the field. So just a really enlightening conversation. And I know she'd be stoked to have you check that out. So wherever podcasts are found, Happy Autism Podcast. The first several episodes are already there for your listening pleasure. Check out those paintings from her brother. Just really, really fascinating conversation. And I felt kind of privileged to be able to speak with her, because I know that she's on her way to really great things. So thank her for being here, and thank you for being here as well. Check her out. Check us out. If you haven't already, if you're not already subscribed, if you're not already following, not sure what you're waiting on, let's get that done. If you haven't already checked us out on Instagram, Not Enough Podcast, go do that. Like every picture plus one. Follow us there too. Really appreciate that. On Facebook, jacksonf.com. You can find us pretty much anywhere on the internet. So thanks for being here. Take it away, Chris.
This has been Not in a Huff with Jackson Huff. Thank you for listening. Be sure to join us next time, where we will interview another amazing guest who is sure to make you laugh or make you think. Or, hey, maybe even both. But until then, keep being awesome.